Hello everyone, today we are doing colored multi-layered makeup. First, we cleanse the face with micellar water from Bioderma along the massage lines. When you cleanse your face, you're always assessing the condition of the skin. What is it like? Dry? Is there a tendency to grease? Learn to study the face already during cleansing in order to understand the skin type. Next, I cleanse my face from micellar water with this toner from Johnson. Remember to rinse off the micellar water. If you hear a sound like this, it means that the skin is dry and needs hydration. I will be using Embryoless cream. This is a well-known cream for a long time. It makes express hydration as well as absorbed. It is not very suitable for daily use. This cream is good for moisturizing the face before applying makeup. I will start with the eyes. While the cream is absorbed, we will do the makeup. I tint the eye area using Siam concealer. Apply a small amount and distribute. I blend the inner eye so that I don't overdo it with concealer. In the middle. First, I distribute to the outer corner of the eye and then to the inner corner of the eye. It is very good to use a fluffy brush in the inner corner of the eye to immediately distribute and blend that forms. Because the eye is closed, the skin wrinkles, you apply concealer, then open your eyes and you get tricks. So a fluffy brush is very suitable. Now let's apply Charlotte Tilbury powder in medium shade. I use a small amount as I don't need to dry my skin. I tighten, but at the same time leave the skin moist. We will be using creamy eyeshadow to blend well over the skin. I will be using Too Faced cream eyeshadow on the fixed eyelid so that the following colors will be blend in with the skin tone. In any case, you need to prepare the final color that blends beautifully with the skin. Accordingly, you can make makeup of any saturation, any brightness. I take a small amount and spread it with a brush so that everything is even. I start from the crease of the eyelid and blend it up with the brush with these movements. Since I will accordingly extend to the point where my eyelashes run out. I extend the eyelash line to this line. We do the shading. I first apply the brush to the crease of the eyelid and pull out the rest. I apply it on the lower eyelid to connect the shading. Then I extend it and connect this corner with our finish shading, which comes from the upper fold. We create a single shadow that unites both the upper and lower eyelids. It's very handy to use this little brush to create a corner because you can extend the color with the sharp tip of the brush. I will add a little saturation and cover this corner, which runs horizontally from our high point. This corner should be the most intense. I applied on the second eye. You can shake the brush off the product a little and then blend. Upper eyelid, lower eyelid. Sometimes the product dries up and it is better to do these patting movements. But if the product is wet, then it is good to stretch like this. Your movements should be more stroking, but as soon as you feel that the product starts to stick, then it's better to start doing these movements. Apply a brush and pull slightly. Do not pull in any way. I add some saturation to the lower eyelid. If you want to refine in detail, then take a small brush, but always flat. We used to make it a thin application. Flat brushes are designed to fix color the way you want it. Dense, bright, rich. We distribute on the mobile eyelid if it has formed. I fix the movable eyelid with this light shade. Always remember that sometimes concealer acts as a base under the eyeshadow. So if you're using light shadows, then sometimes it is enough just to apply concealer. Set it and get long-lasting makeup. If you're using color, then of course it is convenient to use cream shadows, watercolors, lipsticks. They will be closer to the shadows that you want to use. using a pencil from Charlotte Tilbury. I really like these packs, and the pack contains 2 pencils. It is very convenient to have several shades, because sometimes some popular shades, sometimes some not popular shades. It is better to have a lot. I will do the feathering. It will be an arrow, and at the same time, the makeup will add saturation. With a pencil, I draw an arrow, but not like a real arrow, but a little with shading. On an open eye, we extend our arrow towards the lower eyelid. For conveniences, sometimes you can make the bottom feathering and then connect the rest. When the eye is open, I build a clue by drawing a line. It turns out the effect of an arrow. On a closed eye, I shade the finished line without losing our horizontal line. In the deepest part of the eye, add a pencil more brightly. It is very convenient to initially build a line from the lower eyelid if you are experiencing difficulties, but if you feel confident, then you can start with both a moving eyelid and a fixed eyelid. If you're experiencing difficulty in building the shape, then it is better to start with the lower eyelid, and then shading goes on the movable and motionless eyelid. On the open eyelid, we build a guide line, slightly tightened and shaded. If you use a gel pencil right away, as in my case, it is better to do a little bit and blend right away, because the gel dries up, and then there will be no way to blend as I would like. We draw a line, shade the borders with these movements. With an open eye, we look at the horizontal and pull it out with the tip. Condense the color in the middle. We begin to draw the arrow from the highest point of the movable eyelid. We will build the eye in an elongated horizontal shape. The middle of the eye will be without an arrow, and we will start drawing from the middle. And immediately to the Moschus membrane. I love working on Moschus because the makeup looks complete and bright. Always do this because it will seem like the arrow starts from the inside and turns the eye into a different shape. These are very interesting shadows and very interesting packing from the Kaya Beauty Bento brand. There are 3 in 1, and here are universal shades: light, darker, and completely dark. I take a transition color and apply in a thin layer and fix the feathering. So I use this brush to make the feathering look natural. This color is very successful as it makes a very beautiful transition. It is similar to the skin color of the model, therefore as a transition color, it is very successful. I apply on the lower eyelid too. Today we're not doing salon makeup, but transformation into a very interesting makeup. Shade it with a fluffy brush. Then, with a small brush, take the darkest shade and apply it with dense movements in the shadow from the pencil and with the rest in a transition color. I add intensity to the eye crease. This is the deepest part. This is angle. When we apply a horizontal line to the highest point and make such a movement in shape. This angle should be the most intense when you want to change the shape of the eye, stretching it on one direction or another. Angle and extrude. We also apply to the borders, but not to the arrow itself. With these movements, we shade. The transition color helps I don't shade and apply a little bit. Only the shading line itself. In order to maximally underscore the arrow, I will now use these shadows from the Charlotte Tilbury Starry Eyes to hypnotize. I will make a neat shaded arrow. First, we apply in the depth of the eye. This triangle is obtained if we put a pencil horizontally, and what angle we get, this should be the most intense zone. Here we draw out a little. In the area where we need a bright color, we will apply shadows. With these movements, we combine brown and black shadows. For this purpose, have the brown color with you or the color you want to shade. I applied some black and brown. We add black so that there is a single arrow line on the open eye. So if you see somewhere that the arrow breaks somewhere, then apply shadows on the open eye and shade on the closed one. Whenever you want to create a shape, we always do it with an open eye. With the help of Inglot eyeliner, we will create a thin line in the inner corner of the eye. We connect all the hairs on the brush. The eyes look down, slightly down. We darken our corner of the eye, and then, when you have done in a circle, stretch the eyelid slightly and be sure to make the lower part. Watch out for the hair that many girls have here, and it can get the way of building a clear line. Therefore, we move slowly. Always keep the fixation to yourself. The little finger is your helper. I add a little bit of intensity around the lashes and hammer into our finished shading. I also go over the lashes a little to paint over unpainted areas, but without the arrow. Only in depth and shade. I want to add a little volume, so with transition colors, I go down in the middle of the eyelid and a little lower and shade it with a darker one. now glue the eyelashes. If you want a more elongated eye shape, the eyelashes should be glued accordingly. The elevation of the eye starts from the middle, so the eyelashes should be longer from the middle. I will glue the top 10 only in the middle. This volume will be enough for me. But if you stick a lot here, you will get a round eye with an arrow. And if you make few eyelashes and they lengthen, the effect will be perfect. First short and then long. But if you do this, then the middle rises too much. So I will start the top 10 further and then glue. And apply them diagonally from the model's eyelashes. Always check the last eyelash on an open eye, whether it is needed, there is or not, and how long, so that eyelashes do not lower our eye. My model has eyelashes with lamination, so I need to paint well and connect with glued eyelashes, so that there are no different levels. When your eyelash lamination is done, it is beautiful, of course. But gluing the eyelashes is, of course, inconvenient. So it will take me more time. In this part, my eyelashes begin to misbehave. Then I will glue eyelashes of a different thickness and a different size so that the transition is more natural. Notice how I hold my finger. This is how it is convenient to paint over eyelashes and paint over your own and glued eyelashes. When the glue on your lashes, keep in mind that you can tilt them in different directions with your fingers. I stick them on, and sometimes with my finger I feel to lower them down or press another shape. Now we are moving on to face makeup. I will use Dior foundation. I love this product madly, and I will mix in this highlight. I love to blend that way because it makes it lighter or darker, and it's also handy to blend when you want to change the texture. If you have a very dense foundation and want to change the texture so that there is no mask effect, it is very cool to mix in reflective foundations or more elastic ones. I will combine two light tones to lighten the color a little and add a slight shimmer as a Dior foundation is more matte but very thin. Be sure to shake before applying. I'm mixing. When I use two foundations, I love to blend in a reflective base. We apply. Don't forget about the neck. I like to work with a sponge when I apply a foundation, either with these brushes, which are beveled or flat, with densely packed hair. If the foundation didn't hide any defects, we are already working with them locally. Don't forget about the ears, especially if the client's hair is in a bun and the ears are open. The ears always look red, so don't forget it will be noticeable otherwise. I work on the area under the eyes with Clarins. I apply just below the shadows and always on the inner corner of the eye and near the wall of the nose. Many people forget about this area and will look like a small bruise. With a fluffy brush that is soft, I blend the makeup with concealer. I use a concealer from the Cyan brand. I will highlight the T-zone. I put on the nose and blend it a little. When you apply the product here, you thereby reduce the nose, even though the model is already beautiful. When these areas are lighter, the face looks more prominent. These zones go into the shadows, but the eyes come out in the first place. I blend it with brush. Usually I mix the leftovers and I will remove any problems on the skin with the help of concealer. First, apply the product and then shade it. I fix my makeup with a small amount of Makeup Forever powder. I really love this powder because it does not mate the skin but rather blur it, and there is an easy fixation. If you have an oily skin type, if your skin is prone to shine, this powder will not mate. But the effect of a slight blur is guaranteed to you. I use a small brush under the eyes. I use Charlotte Tilbury highlighter and blush for a moisturized effect. This is a very beautiful color. I apply a highlighter and apply two colors. This palette is from Bobbi Brown. Since we already have a sticky texture, a creamy blush, the highlighter will look nice and be more dense. This will create an expensive glow. The highlighter has a finer texture. It makes the skin to look more expensive and luxurious. If you do this and only sparkles remain, then do not buy such a highlighter. It will cheapen the image. I take the same brush and mix to a very convenient palette from Dior. It is good for makeup artists since there are light ones and a little darker and completely dark. But as a client, I would not advise, as this color is very useful to few people. If used for eye makeup, it is great. These two shades are the most popular. To make a foundation, I do these movements. As soon as I am done with the face, I like to fix the makeup right away. Moisturize it so that there is no effect of a dry face. First, I shake, ask the model to close her eyes and apply. I love this product as it sprays very little. Now I will shape the eyebrows. I use eyeshadow from Anastasia Beverly Hills, the brow powder medium brown. My model has a permanent eyebrow makeup, so the shape is very beautiful. I'll just trace the shape and add intensity. Be careful. If the model has permanent makeup, pay attention to what shade it gives when applying the eyeshadow. When the shade of the permanent is too cold and you apply two gray shades, the eyebrows will turn blue-gray. Work with the permanent in either neutral shades or warm shades. Then with eyebrow gel from Anastasia Beverly Hills, I style the hair. Then I shape the lips. I add some volume to the lower lip and immediately blend everything with the brush so that the line is not too clear. Kiss effect. I absolutely love ColourPop lip pencils. I think I have all the shades. It is great to use them instead of lipstick and just like a contour. When shading, if you want to make up a supplement using pencil technique, then these lip pencils are very suitable. They're very soft, not as strong as gel lip pencils, but also at a good level. This is my new love, Rare Beauty. This is a lipstick and immediately took several products. She has a gorgeous texture, looks more like a cream on the lips, doesn't dry the lips, makes good hydration. It is a very beautiful color and pleasant feeling on the lips. If, like our model, the lips are slightly dry and I want a nude lipstick and the same time persist, then I like to apply the product on the lips and apply a lip mask in the middle. I took a little of the mask and apply it in the middle to moisturize. Now I add the blush. Very interesting packaging from the American brand Kaya, also made like the shadows. Here is the blush, highlighter, and cream sculpture. It's insanely convenient. I put in my bag, go to work, and shoot with a client. It doesn't take up much space and it is 3-in-1. I created a custom makeup with a blended arrow. This makeup is insanely popular now and suits everyone. Suitable for brides, for any client of any age, but our lesson doesn't end because I promised you bright and multi-layered makeup. I will transform this image into a more creative one. Always remember that while you're doing your eyebrows, the foundation is already applied. The skin can be moisturized, especially if it is a foundation such as Misha or Dior Backstage. They do not have matte and do not dry the face. Accordingly, the skin remains with a vibrant radiance. Therefore, while you're doing your eyebrows and you see that the skin is already a little hydrated, and got used to the foundation, it may shine somewhere, but keep it in mind this shine is healthy. So if you're satisfied with this glow effect, then leave it. But if your client or your shooting doesn't need the skin to shine in some areas, be sure to powder them. For example, while I was doing makeup, but here it already shines a little, and it doesn't suit me, then I will only use powder in the T-zone. On the rest of my face, I don't apply powder, so beautiful color from ColourPop Jelly Matte Shadow Bungalow. I distribute the product over the brush and apply it all over the movable eyelid. This option is suitable for express transformation and also if your client has several images and you want to change. It is very convenient to do makeup in light shades and then use either color or universal layer. It can be black shades, lipstick can be used. If we work with colors, then you can cream the finished makeup on a dry texture. But in no case, if you want to do colored makeup, do not try to apply colored shades on a dry texture, as it will look dirty and messy, and you will not get the shade you want. The ColourPop brand is a budget line of cosmetics. There are pros and cons. So it comes with a little bit of brush pills, but the colors and makeup can be done very nicely. That is for those who want to reduce their waste, creativity, and the soul.
Творчество в душе, душа требует творчества. У вас такой получается уже быстрый макияж в цвете.
I got my makeup in color in a quick time. Next, I will apply any texture since the base already has thickness, so any pigment, any shadows will be applied more cleanly and brightly. I'll start with this blue shade from Fenty Beauty. I apply in the corner of the eye. Since the lashes are already glued on and painted, be careful at the lash edge, as the texture can get on the lashes and it will be difficult to remove it. Now I apply in the middle of the eye, then I take the eyeshadows from Kat Von D. These are amazing shadows and shade, and they are very rich, very beautiful shimmer. When you're working with color and you want the eye to sparkle, then you need to work with the brush like this. I shake a little from the point and now finger, since only the finger gives off the most beautiful color. Now I shade. Since the pigments have different colors, that is, when choosing, you can take any shade, remembering that when applied, the shade will occur a greenish, brownish, reddish. For example, if we had blue and we applied green, then we would have got a sea green. In the lesson on the colors that you have separately, we will carefully go through this. Then the places where I got two shades, and so as not to shade them and not to do between the color, I will apply pigment from Makeup Forever. This is an insanely beautiful shade. If you want to learn how to make a creative, you must have a large amount of pigments sparkling with glitters. They will help you to work better with colors. It's one thing to shade the shadows, but it's another to apply Mother of Pearl. Mother of Pearl is convenient to combine shading where you want to shade, and they also change makeup beyond recognition. I applied the product in the middle, applied the shade, and accordingly where my green pigment will sparkle more green, and where blue, I mean blue shadows, we get a different glow, and you create such a beautiful transition from one color to another. It turns out that at the same time you have bright and colored makeup, and at the same time work with different colors. When there is one color in makeup, it will look a little boring. And when you create makeup like coldness, that is, when warm and cold shades are present, the makeup will look much more spectacular, much more interesting, much more complicated. Now I will blend the makeup with the eyeliner. And I took a small flat brush, apply more densely at the eyeliner, and blend a little with black shadows. You get a featuring and eyeliner. I apply tightly to make up it easier to connect two layers, green and black, because if there are not enough shadows, transparency can be obtained. When transparency is obtained in color, it creates the effect of dirt. Therefore, in order to have a beautiful transition, and it was easy to create this transition, it is necessary to apply more densely. I add a little saturation to the moving eyelid in the very corner. I add density so that the next color that I want to combine with eyeliner fits well and easily. Since the makeup is bright, the density of the shadows should be more intense so that the skin doesn't shine through. I take black shadows and apply a little to the motionless eyelid. It is enough to make such light movements as the shadows are connected.
То есть достаточно буквально хлоп-хлоп-хлоп, и тени соединять.
On the lower eyelid, I apply the second color from this palette. I do a slight shine so that the makeup is completely changed.
Легкое сияние, чтобы уже макияж был изменен полностью. Очень нравится.
I really like this color. I think I only bought this palette because of this color, because it is very beautiful. This color looks beautiful everywhere. On the mobile eyelid, cheekbones, and the second color comes as a bonus for me. In my opinion, it also looks very beautiful in makeup. I will add a transitional glow to make it look beautiful with this makeup. Since this is where the color of the skin turns out and doesn't look very good, I will add this color and only in the middle and blend the finished makeup. Therefore, during the transformation, due to the fact that they added somewhere, didn't add somewhere, and left, you will get a different makeup creation. When you want to do bright makeup, it will look very beautiful when you play in contrasts. For example, if the base color is green, remember the color wheel. Opposite to green, we have red, so the red shades will be contrasting, and accordingly, it will be very beautiful to complement the makeup. So that is not two of the same colors, but it will dilute everything. I will be using and let it dry, and with the second layer, thicken the color and make it more saturated.
И затем вторым слоем уплотняем цвет и делаем его более насыщенным.
I will do a little featuring between the lashes. I really like the shine from this color. I overlay the product a little lower to enhance this color more.
Чтобы больше усилить этот цвет. И при таких образах, да, то есть когда яркий макияж создается.
With this look, when creating bright makeup, the eyelash extensions on the lower eyelid will look beautiful. More intensity will be added so that not black colors are added for brightness, but rather eyelashes. Start gluing from the middle of the eye. We take an eyelash and glue it in this way.
Реснички из-под низу. Необходимо найти
You need to find your eyelash which will hold a well-glued eyelash.
той базой, на которой хорошо будет держаться.
When we glue the upper eyelashes, we move them a little to connect them together. Do the same with the lower ones. Glue, wait until it dries a little, and move them. Eyelash dyeing is optional. Sometimes I leave, and sometimes I do a light layer. I wanted to add saturation, so I will tint the eyelashes with these zigzag movements. If the eyelash has dropped somewhere, stick it with this movement. Of course, in real life it's not very convenient extensions on the lower eyelid, it's more for shooting. Of course, there are people who love not only bright makeup but also wear eyelashes everywhere. So quickly, we transformed the client's makeup into color. But this is not the end of our lesson. As a bonus, I'll show you how to quickly and easily transform makeup into creative. I'm going to be working on the cleavage right now. So, for this, we need Johnson & Johnson baby oil, a plastic cup, and pigment. I will be doing a dripping paint effect. I pour the pigment into a glass. I don't need much. It is well diluted with oil, and a small consumption is obtained. I add oil, and it is the oil that gives the melted gold effect. I will create the effect as if the gold is melting. This is an interesting effect. I recommend using a brush that is designed for your creative work because it will be difficult to completely wash off the oil from it. My best advice is to have separate creative brushes. I stir and you should get such a thick, dense color. First, I apply oil all over the neck. I will mix in a little more pigment to make the texture thicker. At this place, you can draw pictures, but I will make such a straight line, paint over, we reach the hollow and stop. For the model, gold jewelry will look even better, as if the gold is melting. It is very good to make a chin because there is a reflection of color and will sparkle beautifully in the camera, especially under artificial lighting. If you illuminate the video with light, you will already get very bright and effective images. We take the paint with such movements as if I were taking it with a spoon, but put it on the skin and let it go. It is beautiful to let these drops preciously from the bones as if the neck was dense and this effect came from the neck. More horizontally, since our body is voluminous and we do it as if with such a collar. In creativity, it is important to do everything with relaxed movements. Any art gives you direction. It will do everything on its own, as it needs. The main thing is to direct it correctly. This is the most difficult thing. Because when girls want to repeat some image, they are very constrained. The biggest problem is being insecure about creativity. Apply everything as lightly as possible. Relax. The more relaxed you are, the more freedom of movements you have. Don't be afraid. You can also apply it to the neck. Look from afar where the product grabs. If you are shooting, then of course you need to do the lateral parts of the back too. Because if the model turns, everything will immediately be noticeable. I work only now frontally. If you are doing a neckline, then the makeup also needs to be refined. Since so far there are two images, therefore it is better to apply this effect in some places too. I give the shade just a little. You can apply it to your face, whatever you want to, or to your ears. If you do the whole image, then be sure to apply it to the earlobes and bones, and it all looks very beautiful. More creative makeup will be covered in the next tutorial. Therefore, we're waiting. I will still give a little creativity and apply it to the eyes. The result is a wet effect. Put the brush like this and make these movements a little bit below. And a little bit on the lips. Where there's refraction of planes, see what a beautiful effect is obtained. That is how we did it quickly. Many thanks to you guys. Good luck.
Пока.